Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Siti Nurjannah from Cairo University, Ternate. In this opportunity, I will share some of the research of my research about the role of high conservation value area for biodiversity in oil palm plantation, PTY Musi Agroindah in Sumatera. The existence of oil palm plantation can be sparked from the perception of the loss of biodiversity. Biodiversity in agriculture, in this case, is oil palm plantation. I think that support the economy in Indonesia. Some opinion says that land use for production is the biggest driver of biodiversity loss, with approximately 270 hectares of biodiversity hotspot in the tropic with potential for oil palm plantation. Refer to GAPKI 2022. In 2021, export revenue from oil palm plantation will be $35 billion, about 52% higher than in 2020. That means that country income from exporting plantation product is increasing every year. Although oil palm plantation contribute large from income to the country, the opinion that biodiversity is declining to oil palm plantation is still a matter of debate. The low biodiversity in oil palm plantation is caused by monoculture and the absence of the main component of forest vegetation, which include forest trees, liana, and also epiphytic orchid. It is about some research also size like that. Oil palm plantation are currently required to implement the principle of environmental management, natural resources, and biodiversity as one of the requirements to obtain ISPO, or Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil certification. As one of the countries with the largest exports of palm oil product, Indonesia is also a voluntary member of the RSPO, or Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil. In other words, one of Indonesia's efforts to implement sustainable palm oil plantation is to implement the goals of ISPO and RSPO, namely conserving biodiversity and ensuring that no primary forests and high conservation value area are used as oil palm plantation. One form of implementation of ISPO and RSPO carried out by palm oil plantation in Indonesia is to maintain area with high conservation value. Refer to data of RSPO in August 2022, the area that already has an RSPO certificate in Indonesia is more 2 million hectares. High conservation area is a basic component in the implementation of biodiversity conservation in oil palm plantation, which consists of HGV1 until HGV6. Areas that have HGV attribute or criteria cannot development activities by maintaining and enhancing HGV's area. Refer to S.Hut at 2011. The current HGV criteria are still considered ineffective and have a strong basis. So it is necessary for various groups, but of government and NGOs, to create new criteria so that the implementation of a SHIFI's application in oil palm plantation can ensure the protection of biodiversity. So there is a need for research on the role of SHIFIs in protecting biodiversity in oil palm plantation. My research that conducted at PTY Musi Agro Industri Sumatra, and the data needed is the study is diversity of plant, diversity of mammal, and diversity of bird. The data collection of plant in the HGV area consists of data of trees, poles, saplings, seedling, and also the underground. And the process is referred to the research of Kusuma in 2007, and the data method of in oil palm plantation of collecting underground data is a form of 2 by 2 meter plots, and each land cover consists of 15 plots. Because in oil palm plantation is only found the underground plant. And the inventory of the diversity of mammal using the line transit method, and the biodiversity using the line transect method, and also observation point. The length of the path is 1 kilometer with a width of 100 meters, and the observation made in the morning and the afternoon for 3 repetition. The data record include the time of encounter and the number of individual of each species. Inventory of plant, mammals, and also bird diversity is conducted in 4 locations or 4 land cover. That is HGV's area, and also oil palm plantation, medium oil plantation, and also young oil plantation. Plant species diversity in HGV's area is are included in the protected list according to regulation in Indonesia, appendicitis, and also in at least IUCN, but found 5 species that less concern category in IUCN. There is Glutawarici, Barringtoni acutangula, Neonacra calicina, Nipah frutica, and also Patoxylum formosum. In this table, we know that there is only one individual in one family. There is a Patoxylum formosum, and no other plant species were found in the Hyperiaceae family. The best species, Patoxylum formosum, is a plant species that has many use, such as budding material, coating dyes, and edible young leaves. Also, the species not protected. If its presence is not noticed, it will cause extinction at the local level and affect the existence of wildlife that use this plant as food plant. Contrary of oil palm plantation, there were 19 other species found in old oil palm plantation and medium oil palm plantation, and 70 species in the young oil palm plantation. The undisturbed species were dominated by Clademia hirta in old oil palm plantation, and medium oil plantation is Agretum conistoides, and the young oil palm plantation is Asis Satya gangetica. This table shows that dominant undisturbed species found in each oil palm land cover. As in HEFIS area, none of the plant found in oil palm plantation are included in the criteria of protected plant, either by the government, the site is appendix, and also the red list of IUCN. Also, in the oil palm plantations are only understood species of one. They can be used by life such as butterflies. There is the data of mammal and bird diversity were found in young palm oil, medium palm oil, and also the old palm oil, and also HCFIS area. And in the table notes that there is 4 species which protected by government in Indonesia, IUCN, and also the CITES. Table show that the mama species are found in HEFIS area were more diverse and more numerous than those in oil palm plantation. And the Malaysian field rat or Ratus theomaticus species was found in every location. This is because the species is very adaptable to new place. And the table, so we can see that the only mama species found in the HEFIS area, there is Farilutu, or we can say Trachypetatus cristatus, and the long-tailed macaca. This is because the plant species in the HEFIS area are more diverse, and there are many tall trees for these 2 species for activities, such as applying or foraging. And Silverbutung is a species that require trees for foraging activities, has place to sleep, and also a place to move from the other 3. And the population density of Lutung or Silvery Butung and all the primates in a place depends on the presence of trees and carrying capacity of their habitat. In the diagram, we can see that the diversity of birds in HEV is higher than the oil palm plantation, and also the mammal diversity is also the higher from palm oil plantation. And there is a species that include in protected by government in Indonesia or appendix of CITES, and also the record list in IUCN. But Anhininga melanogaster and also Prenia familiaris is not to include of the HEV area because criteria of the bird of diversity of mama, the bird of mama, and also a plant can be criteria of IUCN is there is the species is vulnerable or endangered. PT M.Si Agroinda was established in 1990 and has an HEFIS area is 21.51 hectare. Based on the result of Nurjannah, it saw that HEFIS area of PTY M.Si is the HCV1, which is an area that has important biodiversity, and also HCV5, which is an area that has a role in providing natural environment service. The determination of HGV1 at M.Si is accorded with the species of bird and mammal. Therefore, into the IUCN, there is a vulnerable and endangered criteria, and appendix 1 or 2 inside this, but we just found appendix 2, and also the protected under the regulation in Indonesia. Why the determination of HV5? Because the HV are also river burden. The implementation of HV's area is linked to the RSPO on Principle 7 and ISPO in Principle 3. Uh, that is environmental responsibility and conservation of natural resources and biodiversity. This shows that PTY Museum Agro Indah has implemented principle 7 of the ISPO to supporting the biodiversity. Based on the research of the inventory ICP area, there are plant species that only found 1 and 2 individuals in one family. This requires more attention when monitoring and evaluating the HFS area so that the species remain sustainable, because if the species are lost, the biodiversity in the area of HCVS will also be disturbed. In addition, in the HCVS area, there are 2 primary species were found as the factor of the criteria of HGV1. There is Macaca fascicularis and also Silpharidutum precipitatus cristatus. Also, the macaca species is not protected under the Indonesian regulation. The global population in this species continues to decline. It has result in increase in status to endangered in 2022 from previously vulnerable in 2020, and in 2008 there's a list concern of LC of red list in the IUCN. So there's a conclusion of my research. The assistance of ICPSS in oil palm plantation is essential in maintaining the diversity of plant and animal species in around them. It is also one of 2 ways to support the government effort to protect species based on the regulation. Considering protected types of plant and animal population and the biodiversity at the global level in according with ratification of the United Nations or CBD Convention on Biological Diversity. Okay, thank you. That's the last for my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.